Now let's touch on another 3 characters in this one. I'm going to talk about my monk, my demon hunter, and my paladin. Now those are ones that actually have just one each. Let's get into it. So this monk, look at that. Oh, it took me a while to get the pants. If you look carefully at this outfit, that upper portion for the chest is one piece, but it looks like it flows down and has like that's a full jacket going down to the legs. But unfortunately, the legs part were separate, so I had to have something else temporarily. But this is a combination of a few things. Like, if I'm not mistaken, the boots, which are these plates there on the side, the arms, like the gloves, I should say, not the arms, the gloves there, and then the shoulders. Those are from an actual PvP set that pertain to the monks. Then you have that belt was just monk only, but it was the only belt that had red. And then the jacket and pants as a combo piece came from a whole nother place. Well, actually, it was 2 places. The jacket was from one place and the legs from a whole nother. And that's the idea I did with him. And then I don't know if you can see it that easily here, but I do have an eye patch. And the reason for that is because when I was creating this monk, there was actually a face that kind of had a little scarring in the face. And I said, that'd be cool. I would like to do that scar and then put an eye patch. And then that'll be the reason he's got the eye patch, because he got scarred. And that's the main reason I did that. And then, as you can see, because of like the style, I'm over here looking all cool. I love it. Oh. Now, when it comes to mounts on these guys, I came across a mount that I finally got not that long ago, and it's a Kodo from Brewfest. And I figured, since monks like drinking brews, making it and drinking it, what better thing to do than to have them with a brew mount, Because technically, I mean, I'm not saying I drink, but he does. He drinks. Now, when it comes to flying, I decided to just go straight up with the kite that they had going in the game. These are just pretty cool because I feel like one of the other reasons I did it, to be honest, is because since the spec is called Wind Walker mount, so it's a Wind Walker monk. So I figured wind. Aha. I'm controlling some wind. That's how I can fly on the kite, because the wind is swooping me away. So, that's the main reason I decided to do that, which I thought was funny, but that's the main reason I did that. Alright, let me get out of there. So, yeah, Ironshaw is the name I decided to have on this guy. Honestly, I don't even remember how I came up with that name, now that I think about it. Ironshaw, but I love it. Now, this guy coming up, my demon hunter, Senshiakuma. So Senshiakuma, last I remember, that's like demon warrior in Japanese. Because I wanted to have something that involved demon. I wanted something that involved warrior. And I said, I'll go with that. Senshiakuma. On this guy, I went red. I wanted red, especially because these are a unique look of weapon that you had to go through some stuff to, it was more time consuming, really, some of the stuff you had to go through. But once I saw the look of those weapons, I said, I love the tone of that red and how it's going throughout the weapon. And I said, all right, cool, I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to just get something going on the rest of the character, which in this case, I decided to do a basic black blindfold that you could acquire through the character creation of the demon hunters. And then I went with a thick, scaly skin, and then they had a red tint of the tattoos that demon hunters can have. And then now the rest of the gear is actually the belt, bracers, the pants, and the boots are all from the Venthyr people. So that Covenant Venthyr from Shadowlands is how I acquired that. Which plus I enjoyed playing the Demon Hunter with the Venthyr. Dude, look, and the thing is, I stand out because I like the green. I'm not gonna lie, I like this whole demonic stuff with the green, but I want it to stand out, and I really feel like this character stands out so well. I mean, this looks so cool because like the way that red is. Ooh, that looks so cool. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong, some of the moves still does green, but one of the things I was able to do aesthetically was change the flame. There's a maneuver that you could do where you got like fire around you, and basically it starts where it's just green. It's just like green hellfire swirling around you. But I found a way to make it like fire. So I decided I'm going to do fire. And I thought it looked so cool. Now, one of the other things was, some people would be like, oh, why would you do that? There was a store mount. So there is a store, you could purchase mounts and stuff like that. And I just felt like, first off, I got it on a deal. Say that first and foremost, I got it on a deal. But I didn't spend my hard-earned money. I actually, and the way I actually play the game, for those who don't know, there's a token in the game that you can buy with in-game currency. And I used the tokens to play the game essentially for free. And there was one day where a token is worth $15 that you can convert the token into $15 into your wallet. And there was a sale going on mounts, and the one I wanted is a $30 mount, but it was at 50% off. And not only does it look cool, but there's also some special stuff to it. First off, the red just matches so well, doesn't it? Ugh. Then the other thing is that it is a black and gold mount. So this goes with not only my guild setup, but then his individual setup as a character. Oh, love the look of this horse, man. The thing looks so cool. What? Yeah. I just love how mechanical it sounds. Now, here's one of the things you can do, just for those who ever wanted to purchase this mount. You can put down a thing that's like a hitching post. Okay? So what it is, this hitching post, someone can come up to it that's in your team. Let's say you make a party or a raid. So an entire raid can do this too. So it'll be you and a bunch of other people here clicking on that. You essentially share your mount with everyone else. So let's say you did a full raid guild group. A full raid group is a total of 40 peeps. So there's you and 39 other people riding around on this mount. Because when they click that, whatever the mount they have attached to their keybinds where they click it, when they click it, it just converts their mount into this one. And so that's the main reason this mount's actually more money than all the other mounts, because it has an extra feature. While the other ones are just basic for you to just use it by yourself and fly. In this case, this one, it can fly, and it has the hitching post. So I'm like, boom, there you go. But that was just like an extra icing on the cake kind of thing. Because I really, really wanted this mount for the look of this mount way back when they first introduced it. But then I never had the drive to want to get it until I made this character. And then when I made this character, I'm like, dude, oh, I wish I could get that mount. And then when the idea that, hey, I could turn a token into wallet cash in my shop, bam, I went and got it, especially when it was on sale. Oh, I just love that idea. But yeah, for those who ever want that mount, hey, there you go. Now, my Paladin, my only Paladin, Now, I don't know if you noticed yet. So I did 3 warriors, 1 monk, 1 demon hunter, and now 1 paladin. Those 3 classes there are the only ones I have a singular of. I haven't had the want to make more than one of those. Like, something about the monk, Ironshaw is it. The demon hunter, I don't need another one. It would be 2 because the main reason it's like 3 warriors is because there's 3 specs. And other classes I did the same thing. Like, I got 3 hunters, I got 3 rogues. But most of it was trying to make a theme for a character. And that's what I did with those. Now, the story with the Paladin is a little different. At one point in time, unfortunately, I had somewhat of a hatred for Paladins back in the day. So, for those who don't know, back in the day, the Horde did not have a Paladin. We didn't have a race of beings who could play the class of a Paladin. The only thing we had on the Horde side were Shamans. The Alliance had the Paladins, and they didn't have the Shaman. And so, I'm not trying to say I have pure hatred. I had a disdain for Paladins, I did. And I think most of it was because of the players and how they played them. Got me a little antsy, got me a little pissy. But no real hate. I mean, it wasn't real hate. Like, I didn't hate the Alliance, but I loved whooping their ass. But I remember one time when they did sit down and say, hey, we're going to give the Alliance the ability to have Shamans. We're going to have the Horde the ability to have Paladins. Which, the way they did that was through the Burning Crusade expansion. The very first expansion they made for World of Warcraft. They made it where they gave us a race of peeps each side. And each side got the extra thing. So, for example, to be a Shaman on the Alliance side, you had to be a Draenei. And to be a Paladin on the Horde side was to be a Blood Elf. Quick little note on Blood Elves, though. Blood Elves, when they first were introduced into the game, could not be a warrior. That was pretty interesting. Like, every other class, every single class, or I mean race, could be a warrior, except for a Blood Elf. And I thought that was funny, because I felt like the warrior is the most grounded, fundamental thing that any race should be able to play. I don't give a crap what race you are. You should be able to be a warrior, period. And for some reason, right off the gate, they had it where Blood Elves couldn't be a warrior. And I thought that was pretty silly. I don't know how long it took them before they actually sat down and said, oh, by the way, Blood Elves can be a warrior now. I don't know how long it took them. But at that time, I still kind of didn't like Paladins. But, you know, they won me over a little bit. I allowed them in my groups and stuff. It's not like I didn't, it's not like I excluded Paladins from my groups or something like that. But I didn't have any want to play a Paladin. At that time, I was still playing my main character, Puermero. I didn't have any other characters you see here. I will tell you what my very first alt character that I made shortly later, but this Paladin, this came way later. I mean, it was one of those things where, actually, what's funny about that, I sat down, and this was through conversations with the other buddies of mine that play WoW. And I remember saying, hey, I think the only way I'll play a Paladin is if he could be a Tauren. Then later, through Cataclysm, I believe is what the time they did it. It was through Cataclysm, they added the ability for other classes or other races to be other things. So, for example, dwarves on the Alliance side were able to be a shaman. So now you have more than one race that could be a shaman on the Alliance side. And on the Horde side, they made it where a Tauren can be a Paladin. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I said, okay, you got my attention. And I said, now, because I had said that, it was like one of those things because my word is my bond. And since I said that, I was like, I had to do it. I had to do it. So I went and made Vanquituar, which, that name there, Vanquituar, I mean, it's a combination of like Vanquisher and Torn, like the last end of Torn, Vanquituar. And that's what I came up with. And honestly, I love it. I love the name Vanquituar. I mean, I think it was pretty cool. Now, the looks that he currently has, though, I definitely went... Oh, Bastion. That's what the damn name was. So, Bastion is what I have this particular Paladin hooked up with when it comes to the Covenants of the Shadowlands expansion. And to be honest with you, when I saw the gear set, I was like, oh, man, I want to wear that. Mainly because if you think about it carefully, my guild has a laurel as the icon. So if you look at my tabard, I got a laurel. If you look at the top of his head, that's technically like a laurel just on a tarn. And so what better damn thing to wear than that? And then I really did enjoy the idea, like, this is the shield that's pretty much... the idea is I wanted something round, first and foremost, if I was going to be a tank. And as a paladin, you could be a tank. So I wanted a round shield, and then I wanted a hammer. These are the ones I went with. I thought they looked pretty cool. I thought it looked pretty good. I honestly really thoroughly enjoy... I mean, don't get me wrong. From the other videos, anybody that's seen the other videos of what this paladin looked like, I'm not going to lie, that other set is a nice set. Very nice set. Really enjoyed it too. But something about this one I just like a little bit more. Oh, look at that. There's some people up here. What's that? That is a human paladin. And this guy over here is a demon hunter. Oh, so there's a demon hunter from Bastion. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, this is the only paladin I have because it's the only one I want. Like I said, it's just I didn't have the want to be a blood elf paladin. I didn't have the want to be an elf in a way, but especially a paladin. Like, something about it. Like, even as a warrior, even though I was complaining they couldn't be a warrior, I wouldn't have played a blood elf warrior. But when they came around to say, hey, you could be a Tarn paladin, by God, am I a Tarn paladin? Shit, I'm definitely doing it. So this is the setup I got for tank as a protection spec paladin. But when it comes to changing it up, now as holy goes, I went with a different weapon because unfortunately there wasn't that many options to have like one weapon for both specs. So, oh crap, where's my mace? There it is. God dang it, I didn't save it. By the way, there's a way to do management of the armor. So when you change specs, it'll change the items. But I went with this mace, which I thought was pretty cool, with this little gold orb in the middle. So this way I could do some healing on this one. That was pretty cool. Plus the animation on, I believe it's this spell. There we go. So this spell, they added a book. Looks like he's flipping through the pages. So that's a new thing that's been a bit. I want to say what? Almost a year now? Or maybe more than a year since that spell got revamped. I believe they revamped this spell too a little bit. But yeah, a lot of that's changed how they do some of these spells. Like this quick one is like that, and then this one's with the book. I love that shit. Oh, so cool. Do some of that, some of this. There you go. Oh, hey, this guy just popped up in front of me. Now, when it comes to being a holy spec paladin, this is the guy when I was talking about that PvP mount. This is the guy that I earned that wolf with. because at the time I was PvPing as a healer was with the Paladin, and it's just something about the way I played that son of a gun. I was having so much fun as a Paladin. Oh, and PvP healing. And then also because of the brawn, because it's a talent. Remember I was talking about the racial traits? So brawn, I got that much more health as a Tarn. And then with the critical, remember how I was saying the extra 2% for crit is both damaging and healing. So I stacked a decent amount of crit on this guy. So when my healing popped, it popped. And I mean, it was glorious. Lately, I haven't had the want to PvP. I've been thinking about doing it again. That way I can have some videos, because that's the one thing I'm definitely lacking on my channel, is I don't have any videos of me PvPing and stuff like that. And I've PvP'd so much, and I wish I had some footage of some of the shit I did back in the day. Oh, would have been great. But when I'm out and about and I want to just do some damage as a Retribution Paladin, now the one thing I enjoy about this is one of my favorite weapons in the game. When it got made, oh, I just love this hammer. Oh, look at that thing. It just looks so badass. And then on a Tarn, the size of the weapon is increased. So as a Tarn, this mace looks the biggest, and that's another reason, you know. And I'm not trying to compensate, but it just, as weapons go, for some reason I lean towards hammers more, for the most part. And when it came to the Paladin, like, they have a two-handed sword that it's called the Ashbringer when it comes to the looks, but this right here called the Silver Hand. When I saw this thing, I said, what? Mine. I don't give a shit. That's mine. Now, the best part at the time was that was a healing weapon. So I had to be a holy Paladin to have the weapon. At the time, I was still playing them as a holy Paladin. So I was happy as hell to have that. I was ecstatic. I was like, hell yeah. Like, I didn't really push to get the tanking weapon setup that they had, but they definitely had the sword, which the sword was cool. I mean, for those who want to see the sword, let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. That way you can see it. So we can go to appearance, goes here, and then this is the base model look of the sword. So this is how it looked when you first get it. And then when you essentially upgrade it, it turns into that. So on the other armor set that I had, it definitely looked great. I'm not going to lie. Like, the other armor set that I had going that everybody saw in the other video, that's what I had going. But when it comes to the style that I mean, I just love that hammer. Oh, love that hammer. Oh, it looks so good. And then for those who, I don't think I have it. Now that I think about it, maybe, I wonder if I can show it off somehow, though. No, shit. There's not a way to pull it up. Because there's a way to get the hammer with a look that has a resemblance to a particular character in the Overwatch video game, from that character called Reinhardt. You can able to have like a lion face on the front of the hammer, and on the back of the hammer it looks like it's got like a propulsion thing. So that way it almost seems like it's the mace that the guy has from Overwatch. So yeah, there's my Paladin. Oh, he looks so cool, man. Oh, I just love the look of this Paladin, man. Actually, that's one of my favorite things that they did, where when you do concentration on the floor to consecrate, the weapon changes its appearance. So if you look closely, it looks like transparent. So I thought that was pretty cool when they did that. Oh, that is some cool shit.